Today I want to talk about awareness. So one of the things that we're dealing with as human beings is the inability to be aware of our surroundings. Most of the time we are focused on what's going on exactly in front of us, what's going on in our lives, what's important to us, what is our comfort look like, what is convenience look like for us. And so essentially what we need to really start to do is turn our focus and turn our attention towards the overall environment and not just what's going on within and without ourselves. So how can we relate this to? So one of the things that we're going to hear a lot is people saying, that's not my responsibility, or that's not my problem. This has nothing to do with me. These are pretty standard statements that we're going to hear from people, especially when it comes to something that they're really not interested in engaging. The thing is that, according to basic fundamental spiritual law, if something is showing up in front of you, if something is happening within your awareness, then you are actually obligated to take some sort of responsibility there. The way that the universe is communicating with us is it's putting things in front of us. Whatever the universe is putting in front of us is the language that it speaks. It's how it's telling us, hey, I need you involved in this thing. Now, that doesn't mean that you want to get involved in the negativity that's going on around you, or you want to engage in gossip or slander or things of that nature. But what we want to really do is focus on what is going on around me. For example, I remember many years ago when I was working in a nonprofit organization, and I was going on about my troubles and my concerns and victimizing myself to some degree. And I was with a friend of mine who was also in the organization. And while I was talking about this and going on, she pointed out that there was a plant sitting on a windowsill, and that the plant looked like it hadn't been watered in a really long time. And for me, that was really the moment where I to this day, I pull from that moment in remembering that when we're so involved in ourselves, we might not see the things going on around us. We might not be aware of the people around us, the life that's around us that really needs us, that really needs our help. Our self-involvement tends to trump the needs of everything around us. And it's really important that we take care of ourselves. It's really important that we care about ourselves. We love ourselves. But at the same time, once we hit that place, once we get to that status where we do really genuinely love ourselves and care for ourselves, there's no more urgency for us to just be so consumed with our selfishness. When we're engaged in tunnel vision and we're only seeing what's directly in front of us, it becomes very hard to partake in the assistance that's required from us. One of the purposes that we're going to have in our lives is to help other people or help other things, or to be of a sharing nature. Now, self-awareness is that of sharing. Self-awareness means that I am aware of what's going on around me, and I'm aware of what can use my assistance, what can use my help. How can I benefit my environment? How can I benefit those around me? What is the proper time? What is the proper way to engage my environment, and not just, hey, I want this right now for myself and I'm going to do things this way. And it's a very hard thing for us to digest, even to the point where we will put the blame of all of our problems on something external. Just to give a quick example, so let's just say that you are in a work environment, you come into work and your coworker and you don't get along. You really dislike your coworker. What you definitely are aware of is that you are uncomfortable in that relationship. You don't enjoy that relationship. And so that's where the focus is going to really settle. The focus is going to settle on the fact that your coworker makes you feel a certain type of way. Nowhere in that understanding of the circumstance are we really going to look at it and say, hey, what is my coworker going through? Are they going through something? Is there a trauma that's happening in their lives? Is there lamenting on their end? Are they really unhappy about something? And it really, I've seen it happen so many times in my life, where sometimes just a little bit of care, just a little bit of understanding in the direction of somebody who we might view as a antagonist in our life really gets us into another plane of existence. Instead of coming into work and being like, oh my God, this person, I can't wait to get away from this person. Wake up 10 minutes earlier, go to the coffee shop and bring them a coffee and a donut. Do something like that and say, hey, listen, I know that we haven't really been getting along really great, but I just want you to know that I'm here for you if you need anything. If that does not change the circumstance and the situation, if your ability to share and be aware of what's going on outside of yourself doesn't work, then of course, at that point, you're in a situation where there's no rectifying it. But I'm going to say that that's really hard to get to that place. People are very reasonable when you become reasonable yourself. And so one of the things I challenge you to do this week, find a circumstance, find a situation where you are in conflict, even if it's on a small degree or in a large degree, and find a way to put kindness towards that situation. Find a way to do something nice for that situation. Maybe there's a plant in your office that just hasn't been watered in a couple of weeks. Why not take responsibility for that? Did you put the plant there? Is it your plant? No. But it's there. It's in your movie. It's in the essence of your world. Why not take responsibility for it? Why not care for it for no reason? And this is really where unconditional love comes from, which is kind of one of the biggest goals we want to get to. We want to get to a place where even if we feel a certain type of way, at the end of the day, there's still love in our heart, there's still care in our heart. So this week, find a place where you can rectify something. Find a place where you can share with somebody. Find a place or a circumstance where you can really be who you are.